Hi everyone, welcome back to Aviation Tips, and whoever's new, welcome to this channel. Today's topic is about CRJ 200 electrical system. We will be covering some questions on this CRJ 200 that I have in Explain 11. The aircraft interior switches and the way it looks is not so great, so bear with me. We're just going to be talking about the system. We might not even have the correct respond from the system since it's the simulator but I will show you if it is right or wrong at that point. But mostly it shows everything pretty precise. So let's hop in the cockpit and get back in our position here. Alrighty, there it is. So the voltage is 115 volt AC system and 20 volt DC electrical power. Alrighty. 400 hertz. I can see right up here, but it says 407. A little bit incorrect there. The source of AC electrical power for the CRJ 200 are IDG, APU, ADG, and GPU, ground power unit, which is external. If you have a total electrical failure, you will have the ADG. That is basically, it's in the right side of the forward fuselage of the aircraft, and it's in the cockpit right here. You can just pull it and that will deploy. Even in the simulator it will deploy for sure, so I'm not going to pull it. Sources of DC electrical power, we do have 5 transformer rectifying units, which is, let's go to the DC page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is TRU1, TRU2, service TRU, essential TRU2, essential TRU1. 2 NiCad batteries that's in the equipment bay area in the back tail of the aircraft. Should be around here. There's the door for it, or even lower. Let's see. I cannot see it. The picture is not so great. And they have 28 volt external power, which they can connect from outside. We do have a total of 6 circuit breakers, 4 on the flight deck and 1 on the aft equipment bay, and 1 in FA station, flight attendant station. There are 1 here. Can zoom out so you guys can see behind captain's seat. That's 1 circuit breaker. Number 2, oh, I can see FO. Number 3, right there behind this yoke. See, there we go. And number 4, right there. I can take this yoke out somehow. Excuse me. There it is. You guys can see it. I can't take this yoke out of the way. The IDG's rating basically 30 kilovolt up to 35,000 feet, then 25 kilovolt up to 41,000 feet in CRJ 200. In CRJ 700, 900, we have up to 40 to 41,000 feet. The IDG supply 115 volts AC, 400 hertz, three-phase electrical power to aircraft. Zoom out again, and the IDG's RPM does not vary. It will stay steady at 400 hertz, and the constant speed drive accomplish that task for it. Alrighty. And how does constant speed accomplish is the to maintain the constant RPM? It's just basically its hydromechanical unit and uses integral oil system to drive the generator to constant RPM. And constant speed drive is driven by the engine accessory gearbox, which turns at the variable speed based on the engine speed. The oil is cooled. Oil of constant speed drive is cooled by the air and oil heat exchangers. The air used to cool the oil is from the N1 fan. If you have a fault right up here on top of the, let's see, there's two portion of the switch. There's fault and disconnect. If you have fault, you will have the oil overheat or oil pressure drops below limits. And you will get the caution message on the ICAS page, which is right up here. ED1. There's two couple ways that IDG can disconnect from the engine gearbox. It's just by pressing it. I'm not going to do that right now because I cannot reset it. By pressing it, pressing the disconnect switch, or the constant speed drive, internal temperature rises to a certain temperature, the IGG will disconnect automatically, or over torque condition of constant speed drive will cause the shearing of the IDG drive shaft. Those are the ways that the IDG will disconnect. Oh, I cannot put the oh, cool, there it is. The generator system is monitored by the GCU. GCU basically provides protection and voltage regulation for the associated generator. Alrighty. The generator sometimes if generator automatically trips offline and removed from the bus system, would be the reason you will have greater bus overcurrent, or under frequency, or under voltage. Those are the three things that you will have generator trip offline. Now let's go into APU generator. Output is 115 volts AC, again same thing, 40 hertz and 30 kilovolt from sea level to 37,000 feet. Going to AC receptacle, the external one. Let's go to, oops. It would be located in the forward right fuselage, right up here. So they will connect the, wait, I'm sorry, that's right here. I'm dreaming. That's the knob that you open the main nose wheel with. Right up here. When you have the green available light on flight deck, that means you have correct polarity in AC. As soon as they connect this, you will get the correct polarity and voltage. That's when it's ready to use, means ready to press and start working. Let's go back to this setup here. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be doing this for rest of the video or something because I don't have the key setup that would bring me right into it. When you press that, when you have a AC connected outside, this is the right there, the switch. You'll have a green available, and when you press it, you'll have the power. The buses will be powered through the external AC power. All right. And yeah, so when it's connected from the outside, the buses that are being powered, they are utility and service buses. Those are the ones. So it's a two utility and a service bus. We go to electric page right there. So as soon as they connect and you press it on, you get the service bus and utility buses are powered by that switch. Now, how many total AC buses do we have? It looks like we have 6 of them. AC bus 1, utility bus 1, essential bus, bus 2, AC, service AC bus, utility AC bus 2. Now, there is a priority. It's called logic or priority, as you call it. Priority basically, it's an automatic fault protection and transfer system of AC electrical system. So AC bus 1 and 2 are important buses in bus priority, ensures that these buses will be always powered. The example would be, let's say we do have the gens on 2. It will keep the APU gen on 2 at the same time. So the priority, for example, if AC bus 1, it's always looking for the gen 1. And if the gen 1 goes down, it will look for the APU. If APU goes down, if APU is down or not working or it's down, fault, it will go and look for gen 2. So let's test that. Let's go gen 1 is down. Now switch to APU gen. Let's say APU gen down. It will switch into the gen 2, and there's a lot of load going into gen 2 to power all these buses. And there we go, we got caution messages. APU gen off, gen 1 is off. In this case, we just turned them off, but it's not fault or anything. That is the priority. Same thing goes for the bus 2. Bus 2 goes, gen 2 goes offline. It will look for APU. One more thing to mention, I'm sorry. So bus 1 will look for gen 1. If there's no gen 1, one more thing I think I forgot. So there's no Gen 1, there's no APU going to Gen 2, and if you're on the ground and there's no Gen 2, it will look for external. Currently my external, I don't have ground external connected, so I won't have any power. But if there's external AC is connected, it will look for the external after the Gen 2. Same thing goes to the bus 2, look for the Gen 2. If it's not there, looks for APU. If it's not there, it looks for Gen 1. And if it's not there, it will look for external power on the ground. And if in the air you have total power loss, obviously you will get the ADG automatically deployed. The 6 buses that we have, we already talked about the EC6 buses, so I'm not going to go there again. So where is the AC bus 1 and 2 located? Actually, let's zoom out and so AC bus 1 is behind the captain's seat on the circuit breaker panel 1, and AC bus 2 it's going to be kind of pain going through this. AC bus 1 is behind captain, AC bus 2 is behind the circuit breaker panel first officers. Circuit breaker 2. Let's go back to my panel. It's fun time. Well, you guys clearly see what other buses does the AC bus 1 powers. It normally powers the essential bus, that's normally, and then utility bus 1, AC utility bus 1. Those are two their powers. And then the AC bus 2 powers the service bus and utility bus 2. All right. Essential AC essential bus is essential, as it says essential. It powers essential equipment for the flight and powers essential TRU1. If you guys go to second page, there's essential bus right there and essential TRU1. So it comes from essential bus only. This is AC bus 2 comes in essential TRU2. Alrighty. So AC essential bus power essential equipment in the aircraft, as it says, but if it has if there were a failure of AC bus 1, the essential bus would sense this and automatically transfer to AC bus 2 for its power source. Just because it's essential, it needs power all the time. So how would this happen? It's basically simple. Let's go back to my panel and do some tweaks. So there's the let's go to actually, what can we do here? I could do, there we go, AC essential transfer switch. So let's say it just fails automatically. It detects failure and fails. It will switch to AC bus 2. Simple as that. But normally it will stay with AC bus 1. There we go. If the essential bus did not transfer itself and you have a AC bus 1 failure automatically to AC bus 2, and it could be manually transferred, as you guys saw this AC essential transfer switch light. This will cause the AC transfer switch light to eliminate white, and there will be a white status message, AC essential alternate, on the status page. And this electrically connects the AC bus to AC bus 2. Suppose that. Just because we're using that 82 page, I don't think there's a status page. Let's see, let's take a look if there's a status page comes on in this. I don't see any status page. False alarm in the explain 11, not in real life, but explain 11 doesn't show that. That is fine, no biggie. If you have a total AC power loss in flight, the ADG would automatically deploy, and AC essential bus would be powered. The ADG bus is powered by the ADG, and this bus connected to the AC essential bus. Then you will have basically established AC power after ADG deployment. Now let's, as you guys can see, with the AC service bus now, its service bus is right up here. It provides the service outlets, power to service outlets that are used for lavatory and cabin cleaning. And also powers the service DRU that powers the DC service bus. And there's the DC service bus, service DRU, DC service bus. If you need to power only service buses for the cabin crew cleaners, you can just do it from the outside external panel. You can just flip the switch and that will do the job. That's about that. These, let's go to utility bus 1 and 2, DC, actually no, yeah, let's go AC utility bus 1 and 2. Where are they getting their power? Obviously, we talked about AC bus 1 and AC bus 2. And if these utility buses get the generators experience too much load, these buses usually load shed. So if you're in flight and you have a single generator operating, that's when you got the utility bus will automatically load shed. And this will reduce the electrical loading of a single generator, as we talked. And the utility bus will also be load shed during the ground operation with a single generator providing power. And if you have a flaps are more than 0, the main cabin door is closed, service doors are closed. And if you have the single gen, it will load ship. So that's just to prevent the overloading of the generator 1 and 2. If you were taxiing, some people taxi with single engine. It's just single engine taxi. Would that mean you will have a utility load shed? That's a no. Just because you probably have APU on too at that time, and you don't want to taxi if your APU is down, and you don't want to taxi single engine. That will, and if you extend flaps, obviously, and your main cabin door and service door is closed at that point, you don't want to taxi single engine. Besides, so if if the aircraft is in a service configuration, we do have utility bus 1 and 2. Beside utility bus 1 and 2, the battery charges are powered too, so the batteries can be charged at that point. So don't forget about that. ADG ADG provides same power, 115 volts, 400 hertz, 15 kilowatt dole. As far as kilowatt goes, it's a little bit less. And what part of the electrical system does the ADG power? It's basically, you would, as we said, it will power essential bus and flight, but only when all other AC generators are not providing AC power. And as we said, the ADG powers the essential bus, which powers the essential TRU1. The essential TRU1 powers the essential bus and battery bus. As far as goes, essential bus 1, the battery bus, and essential bus. We talked about the ADG location. It's in front nose of the aircraft, right next to receptacle. I don't want to deploy it. It is deployable, but I think it's right up here or right here. Either or. In this X-Plane 11, I think they made it right here. That's where it's going to deploy. It's just the component of ADG is it has an AC generator and variable pitch 2-bladed propellers. We have 2 different types: is wet and dry. Wet means has oil, and dry doesn't have oil. And the speed limit for wet is 250 knots. Dry is VMO, MMO. For the CRJ 200, 700, and 900. 700, 900, they haven't dry ADGs. So they just go high speed as VMO, MMO. Those are the speeds and types of the ADGs. The airspeed limitation of ADG not to exceed is 250 knots in CRJ 200. Um, but yeah, that's 250 knots. Um, up to 3,300 indicated airspeed for 12 minutes and 331 to 335 um, indicated airspeed for 4 minutes. Um, if the auto deployment of ADG did not occur in case of power loss, you just can pull out the knob inside the cabin I showed you guys. Um, when so the automatic deployment of ADG will occur in flight when all three generators are down, not providing AC power, and AC bus 1 and 2 are not powered. That's when you get the automatic deployment of ADG. Um, when you press the uh, when the ADG is manually released or automatically, the wet and dry model have different methods. So with a dry model, the ADG control unit sends an electrical signal to release solenoid. Um, that's how it's going to release it. But wet model, the ADG control unit sends an electrical signal to fire a squib that is part of the ADG uplock mechanism. That way, it will just release it and it will extend. Let's go into the cockpit at this point. There is a power override switch. I cannot show you here. It's kind of a blurry, but there's a power override switch. After ADG deployment, it may be possible to get an aircraft generator online. The generator would then be providing most of the AC buses and the power transfer override switch would transfer the AC essential bus to the aircraft generators. It would also deactivate the hydraulic pump ACMP3B pump. So there's an override switch somewhere here. I cannot show you guys because it's kind of blurry. So let's jump into DC electrical power. What are the sources for DC electrical power? We a couple minutes ago mentioned the 5 TRUs. Then we mentioned 2 NiCad batteries and DC external power. So this is the redundant information, just refreshing. Um, where is the receptacle located in CRJ 200? That's the question. We have to go outside and look for the. It should be DC should be somewhere. Um, it is. It's not showing, but it should be around here. So it's is near the right engine on the aft fuselage. Somewhere around here. The graphic is not so great. It doesn't show anything else there. but the engine and APU exhaust. DC buses, we do have 10 of them. We do have DC bus 1, which is right here, DC bus 2, then DC essential bus, DC service bus, DC utility bus 1, DC utility bus 2, DC battery bus, right up here, DC battery bus, I'm sorry. DC emergency bus, which is not shown in here unless you have any fault and you see an emergency bus. Main battery direct bus and EPU battery direct bus. So there's total 10. The TRUs provide 28 volt, looks like it shows here, right, 28 volt DC by transforming and rectifying the supplied 115 volt DC electrical power. They should have at least 115, it's fine. The amp rating for TRUs, they are 100. I don't know why they put an 18 here, 28, and maybe, I don't know the reason, but it's 100 amp. The 5 TRUs, they are, as we said, TRU 1 and 2, service, essential TRU 2, essential TRU 1. What buses would TRU 1 supply power to? It normally provides power to DC bus 1 and DC utility bus 1. Same thing, TRU 2 provides power to DC bus 2 and DC utility bus 2. Essential TRU 1 supplies power to essential bus and battery bus. Essential TRU 2 supplies power to essential bus, and goes down to battery bus. Service TRU normally supplies power to service bus, as you guys can see. DC bus 1 located same in circuit breaker panel 1, which is behind the captain's seat. DC bus 2 is located behind the circuit breaker panel 2, behind first officer's seat, circuit breaker panel. DC essential bus provides power to essential TRU 1 and 2. TRU 1 and 2 provides power. Never mind on that one. Give me 1 second. So DC essential bus supply power to, as we said, that this essential bus will supply power to essential equipment for the flight. As long as you remember it's providing power to essential equipment in flight, you are good. And then DC essential bus is being powered by the essential TRU 1 and 2, as you guys can see right up here. So since it's essential, we need to talk about it a little bit more. Um, we need to have constant power for the essential DC bus. How would that um, uh, be accomplished? So if the essential TRU2 fails, the service TRU will be used to power the essential DC bus. So if it fails to power the essential DC bus, um, the essential TRU1 will kick in and power the essential bus at that point. So if essential TRU2 fails, the service TRU will be used um, to power the essential DC bus. If essential TRU1 and 2 fails and service TRU fail, the DC essential bus can be powered from the APU battery direct bus that way in main battery direct bus. So to say this again, if the essential TRU2 fails, the service TRU right here uh, will power the essential DC bus by connecting the right up here the tie. But we'll go in detail a little bit soon in a minute or so. If TRU2 fails, this will service TRU will power the essential bus. If essential TRU 1 and 2 fails, both of them, then the service TRU and service TRU fails, so all three of them fail, then we will have the power from the APU battery direct bus and the main battery direct bus. So it will power it this way. I hope it's clear now. And when the ADG is deployed during a complete AC power failure, the AC central bus powers the AC TRU1, and that way will power the DC central bus. DC service bus provides power to the external navigation lights, including the beacon, lighting in the passenger cabin. That's the service bus provides power to. And it is provided through the normally through the service DC service bus. It comes from the service TRU. Um, the passenger, if we go in a little bit detail here, reading lights at the passenger service unit will be powered by the DC utility bus 1 and 2. Those are the cabin passenger reading lights. Um, and the DC utility bus 1 powers the left side, and then DC utility 2 bus will power the right side of the cabin. The TRUs that are powering the DC utility buses are obvious. We talked about them. It's DC utility bus 1 um, is being powered by the TRU1 coming this way in utility bus 1. And same as TRU2, that's how you get the power from. So when the TRU that is associated with the DC utility bus fails, this one failed, and that's associated with, let's say, DC utility bus 1, the DC utility bus will be load shed to reduce DC electrical loading. And the DC tie contactors accomplish the load shedding. These right here. So you will connect this portion right here and we'll disconnect this portion. To accomplish this, practice, let's see if we can just hop in the cockpit and take a look, see if we can do it somehow. I'm just trying to see if we can somehow. So there's tie 1. Let's say TRU1 failed. Let's see what happens to load shedding of utility 1. Let's close that tie contactor. So this is how it's gonna look. It will load shed DC utility bus 1 if you have TRU1 failure, obviously. In that case, this is not the right way it's gonna show because you still have a TRU1, but I'm just showing an example how it's gonna load shed that utility bus 1. Let's see. This cannot be reset, but I'll try it. No, not gonna. Let's say no, that did not work. That didn't work. But yeah, this is how exactly it would look. You have the yeah, you will look. It will look like this, but you won't have any power in TRU1 coming through TRU1. Alrighty. Actually, we could even bring this example when you have essential bus is essential TRU1 is gone. Who's charging the what is charging the essential bus? Looked like we had some kind of a fail. Let's pretend that you have all the electricals failed. This is what's going to power the essential bus. The APU battery and main direct bus will power the essential bus. Alrighty. So that's how the utility bus 1 will load shed. In this same example, TRU2, if it's gone, it will load shed the utility bus 2. It will be same example as the TRU1 failure. You have the utility bus 1. In this case, is utility bus 2 will be load shed. So that's how it can save overloading power. So let's now talk about the purpose of tie contactors. There's 2 of them. they provide the purpose or two. First one is when there's a TRU failure, the DC tie associated with the TRU is closed, which is right here. TRU1, tie 1. And basically provides affected bus with the other power, which is in this case, if you close that, there's power coming from service TRU. Looks like helps out there. And the second, at the same time, the DC tie will interrupt power to the other buses to prevent overloading of the TRUs. So that is that. Two purposes. Um, so as we mentioned, again, if the TRU1 fails, in this case, going back again to this, so you guys can understand this better. The service TRU would provide power to tie 1 closing and utility bus 1 being load shed. So service TRU will power and close tie 1 and load shed the utility bus 1 in this case, and to provide power to bus 1 at that point. So service TRU closes this tie 1, provides power to bus 1, and there's no TRU 1 at this point. If the service TRU were not available, so if there's no service TRU, both DC tie 1 and 2 would be closed. So if there's no service TRU, both these will be closed, allowing TRU 2 to power the bus 1. So TRU 2 will power the bus 1 at this point. It will provide bus 2 too, but it will load shed utility bus 2, and utility bus 1 will be load shed. So it's just to reach the DC bus 1. So as we said, the purpose of tie 1 and 2 switch lights on the electrical power service panel, right up here, allow the pilot to select the associated DC tie contactors closed. When it's pressed, the switch light illuminates white and status message on ICAS indicates close of the tie. Simple as that. Now let's jump into essential tie on electrical panel here. When selected, this is what's going to happen. The switch light will illuminate white and DC essential tie, which is DC essential tie right up here. Let me just show it again. There it is. DC essential tie close, and status message will appear on ICAS. The essential tie will close, connecting the service TRU to the essential bus. So it will close it, and we have power in the essential bus. So again, there's service TRU providing power to the essential bus. Pretty simple. So as we saw, let's say this is down, TRU1 down, this closes up, utility bus 1 load sheds, just for the service TRU to give power to bus 1. If we have dual failure, that will um, service bus will provide power to the both sides, DC bus 1, DC bus 2, and it will load shed both of these utility buses. Now, when you have essential tie closed, this will, so these can be automatically or manually closed, by the way. The essential bus can be closed manually. So if you press it, this is what's going to happen. It will just, there's a connector right here. It would just strip it off, so there's no more power going this way. And it will connect at the same time the essential tie, so it can give power to essential bus. Service TRU can give power to essential bus instead of transferring to the left side. What actually, yeah, we say there's no automatic. So remember, there's no automatic function of the essential tie contact. This is very important. You do have automatic here, tie 1 and 2, but not essential. So we'll be providing power to this side of the system, unless you just close this and give power to essential bus if you need. And that is done per CRJ quick reference handbook. So those are the tie contactors. Pretty simple. It's just redundancy, helping each other out. 5 TRUs. Let's go jump into the primary batteries of the aircraft. The batteries are located in aft equipment bay and are 2 NiCad batteries. And the APU battery is a 24 volt, 43 amp hour, and the main battery is 24 volt, 17 amp hour battery. I don't know why the amps are messed up here and here, but they are, these are not correct amps. So you can write them down in your diagram if you have one. Constant charge is being maintained in the aft equipment bay. There are 2 individual battery chargers, and it will charge batteries as long as the utility bus 1 and 2 are online. So if you have a utility bus 1 and 2, if they are online, they'll be constantly charging the batteries in aft equipment bay. So keep that in mind. If it gets load shed, batteries are basically will be not they are not being charged anymore. The 4 buses that batteries supply DC electrical power to is a DC battery bus, which is right up here. DC emergency bus, which is not shown. APU battery direct bus, and the main battery direct bus. So those are the batteries that are supplying power to. So this is basically a hockey stick, you could call it, but without the emergency bus somewhere around here. So, so if somebody asks you those two batteries, where are they supplying power to? Just say hockey stick. Just kidding. Go through the batteries, buses. Um, where these main battery direct bus and APU battery direct buses are located. So they are located right up here, circuit breaker panel 5, which is an aft equipment bay. And you could just shove your head in there. Sometimes you need that circuit breaker to be flipped, or I'm sorry, pulled out and reset. Sometimes maintenance will tell you that, and you can find the circuit breaker panel here. We talked about DC emergency bus. It is connected to APU direct bus, direct APU battery direct bus. It is connected to this, and battery bus, obviously these two. You cannot see it here, but it is somewhere. I don't know where would they locate um, in this type of diagram, but it is connected to these two buses, which means it constantly being powered. And the emergency bus provides power to the engine and APU fire extinguishers, and power the fuel and hydraulic shutoff valves (SOVs). That's the emergency bus. In case there's a malfunction or any short or anything, then you will see, I believe you will see that in your synoptic page. It will come up. So that is the emergency bus. The sources for the battery bus, power source would be with EC power available. Essential TRU 1 and 2 power it. If the essential TRU 1 and 2 were not available, the service TRU could power the battery bus. If the essential tie was selected closed by the pilot, obviously by CRJ. So you get battery bus is being powered by essential TRU 1 and 2. If they are not available, it's going to be powered by service TRU, but you have to close the tie, essential tie, by pilot. So it will power the battery bus. When the battery master switch is selected on, battery battery bus is directly connected to both APU and main battery direct buses. As soon as you turn this on, it is connected. Let's trip this offline, and there's our hockey stick. And let's trip this. Oops. Yeah. So it will. So as soon as you turn it on, they will be connected. Let's get these gens on again. So in flight, if the ADG deploys and operates, the buses that it will power is going to be AC central bus, which then powers, again, we're talking about this essential TRU1, and that will turn the power to DC central bus and a battery bus. So these two. So that's how it's going to come. So anytime somebody asks you if you pull out, you have total loss of electrical power, what's going to happen? You're just going to say AC central bus will be powered right away, and that will send power to essential TRU1, and that powers the central bus and battery bus. That's how the ADG will power these buses. In flight with all generators failed and ADG deployed but not generating power, the buses that will be powered still main APU battery direct bus. The main and APU batteries will power the DC battery bus and DC essential bus. So in case you have all that power loss, let's just experience that this is what's going to happen. In here, you guys didn't see the essential bus being powered by some kind of a line, but there should be they should it's not in here, but you see some kind of a green line goes to essential bus too. So it's just in the explain 11. If we in flight lose all the power, approximately we'll have 30 minutes of battery power. You know, it depends on the batteries, how old are they, and how much of a stuff we using. So approximately 30 minutes of power we have, but expect less. And that is the batteries. So one thing to mention about the ADG again, if this knob is being pulled out, keep the handle just to remain pulled out. And if it's pushed back in with a weight on wheels signal at a touchdown, the emergency tie contactor will receive the signal and the battery power will be removed from the DC essential bus. About 80 knots, the ADG will not be providing power, and the only power left is the battery, which will power the DC essential bus only if the ADG handle is pulled. So remember that. If you pull it, keep it out, and after 80 knots, there's no use of that propeller because there's not much of airflow going over the ADG propeller blades to spin it and create to generate some power. For example, let's jump into DC power. How would you know if you have a external DC power available? Obviously, there's a switch to it right up here. You will see it says available light for it. And when you press it, you will get the external DC power will provide power to main battery direct bus and the APU battery direct bus. This will cause the white and use portion of the switch light to eliminate. So there's two portions. And the only way for this to be contacted to outside external DC power is you have to have a battery master on, obviously. Let's jump back into this here. AC essential transfer switch light. If you have a fail portion is on, um, bus priority is ensure that the AC bus 1 and 2 are powered. So the priority always ensures make sure the bus 1 and 2 are powered. This light indicates that the transfer has failed. Um, and if it's like this alternate, that means it inhibited switch light and indicates it did its job because the situation called for the transfer not to occur. I mean, if you have so basically the bus priority is to ensure that the AC bus 1 and 2 are powered. AC bus 1 and 2 are powered. And this light indicates that the transfer has failed. If you have a fail portion, and, it really is an auto transfer inhibit switch light and indicates it did its job because the situation called for transfer not to occur. So that's kind of a weird thing with it. If it fails, it does not allow the transfer from bus 1 to bus 2. And that's right up here would be failed, and not this one, not AC essential transfer, but this right here, the button. Yeah, this is a portion of failed auto transfer. Yeah, I don't know if I was clicking on this, but it's this button right here. What does the off portion of the auto switch light indicate when you have it off? So basically the switch light has been selected and the bus priority is inhibited. So you have the bus priority is basically inhibited on that in that case. If you have a fault in IDG switch light, there's disconnect and fault. The fault indicates there's an oil problem, low oil pressure or high oil temperature. The IDG will end up disconnecting automatically, or you will have to select the IDG disconnect. And you cannot, again, reselect the IDG in flight. You have to call the maintenance for it once you get on ground. So this is another question. What bus is the stab trim channel 2 on? Well, stab trim channel 2 is on a DC essential. As we know, essential because when the ADG is deployed, that's when it's selected. And we need that stab trim. And it's stab trim channel 2. Because it's gonna power, it can be powered by the IDG once you have all the electrical power failure. Coming to another question, random. Why is the left engine started first when the only external DC power is available? There's a couple of things. The left fuel pump is DC powered. That's DC powered. And the oil gauge works on the left engine when only DC power is available. So that's why. If you have the yeah, we talked about this. It says external AC switch light on the external service panel power. Then we'll have utility and service buses are hot at that point. We talked about when we press the DC, when we press these tie 1 and 2, what happens. It will load shift utility bus 1 and 2 in case you press those. Can we ever close all these ties at the same time? Well, no. If you do, everything left of the service TRU, let me show you. If you do close all these ties, if everything left of service TRU will be lost. So all of this will be lost, which means bus 1 and bus 2, utility bus 1 and 2. All of them will be lost. Only the DC essential bus and the battery bus will be powered. That's not a good idea to close all 3 of them. So the situation where you could get in trouble is when the TRU 1 and 2 are all lost. So the DC tie 1 tie 1 and 2 automatically close at that point. The service TRU is now powering the DC bus 1 and 2. If you select essential, if you select essential tie closed because essential TRU2 failed, then all you're doing is providing backup to essential bus. That's it. So yeah, that's why it is not a good idea to close all of them together. All right, it looks like I ran out of my questions and notes for you guys. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope I have demonstrated enough so you guys could see, learn. And this video is about being patient with me. And um, yeah, it was hard for me to find all these info, but I found it for you guys so you guys can learn from it and enjoy um, uh, writing CRJ 200, knowing the electrical system and knowing where these buttons and switches are for. So one more thing about the essential, I was keep pressing on my end of the screen here. I was actually pressing the auto transfer. My mouse was kind of pointing on this button, so that was totally here. As soon as I it was a kind of a glitch. I was keep pressing the essential transfer, and I was thinking, why is it illuminates on me every time when I'm pressing this here? So, and yeah, so it was kind of a glitch. So sorry about that. Yeah, hopefully you like this video. The system worked pretty good. See, it's in Explain 11 CRJ 200. They didn't have anything in Microsoft, otherwise I would have used from there to show you guys the electrical system. But it worked well, not too bad. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe, thumbs up, and like it, share it so other pals can learn some stuff from this. And we'll see you on my next video. It's pretty long video, and I'm sorry about it. Have a good day, blue skies, tailwinds. See ya.